It's finally over and done with, and I'm the happier for it. Today, as you can see from the topic, I'm going to be telling you about the quickest, fastest, most effective way for you to wean your baby. Hello, my name is Emmanuella and this is YoungNaijaMum. If you are new here, please take a moment and pause this video and click the red subscribe button. Turn on your post notification bell so you can know next time I put up a video. Quick backstory. I was working in a place where I had to go to work about 1.5 months postpartum. What that means is that I could not really continue with exclusive breastfeeding, and I'm an avid believer and supporter of exclusive breastfeeding. What this means is giving your baby pure only breast milk for the first 6 months of life. And with my resumption to work, I had to introduce other means. In as much as I was trying to pump my breast and give him stored breast milk, it was not sufficient, so I had to introduce the formula, another means of breastfeeding. Perhaps for this sake, I had that guilty conscience that made me want to actually continue breastfeeding my baby up till 2 years of age. But then you have to know as a mother that when it's actually time for you to stop breastfeeding, then it is time, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Well, it's got to be time, and then I had to look for a way to stop breastfeeding my baby. Now, if you are a modern woman, you are somebody that is pregnant and you are just pregnant in this new age, if you are young like I am, or perhaps you are just trying to conceive, you perhaps want to look for the most modern way of weaning your child. Now, the modern way of weaning your child, or the perhaps recommended way that you see regular white women wean their child, is by what is called baby-led weaning. Baby-led weaning. What does this mean? This means that you gradually stop breastfeeding your baby until the day the baby eventually stops. Say you were breastfeeding 6 times in a day before, you gradually reduce that to 5 times in a day, and then 4 times in a day, 3 times in a day, 2 times, and 1 time in a day, until the baby actually gets used to eating the solid food you must have been introducing in the period of time. Now, in as much as this is a great means or method of weaning your child, it was not the way that was going to work for me, because I got to a stage where I only fed my baby twice in a day. What does twice in a day mean? It meant I would feed him in the morning, early in the morning before leaving for work, and then once I come back from work, his signal, his means of welcoming me home is by asking for breast milk. So that meant he only got fed with breast milk in the morning and at night, which was the only time that I had to feed him. And so there was no way for me to actually employ the baby-led feeding that was recommended by most other mothers. And seeing that we only had two meal time, which could we have reduced, which could we have first removed? It seemed to be an impossible feat for us to achieve. But then I thought of, what is that old way that my mothers, my grandmothers, my aunts, and everyone that had gone before me had been using? What is that popular African way of stopping a baby from being breastfed? Cold turkey. Now remember, I said when it's time for you to wean your baby, it's definitely time. How will you know when it's time for you to wean your baby? I had 3 major signs that I got to know that my baby was ready for weaning. The first thing is that he started getting interested in eating solids from the age of 4 to 5 months. When my baby was not even 6 months old, he was very much interested in what we were eating as adults. He was ready to eat whatever any other person, any other adult around him was eating. He was interested in solid, and even when he tasted the food, he didn't shrink away from the idea of tasting the food. So he was very interested in eating solid. Hence, once your baby is getting interested in weaning solid, just start preparing for weaning. We had also moved into that routine of only breastfeeding for twice in a day, morning and at bedtime only. The second signal that I got to get to realize that my baby was ready for weaning was the downside of being at home on weekends. Now, on weekends, because of the flexibility of my work, I was usually at home. Now, when I'm at home on weekends, my baby would rather not eat any other food. It will be only interested in taking breast milk. I was so interested in taking breast milk, so much that the breast milk was no longer enough for him to eat. It was no longer filling him, and this would show on Monday by the time he resumed back to crèche. Now you can imagine having a chubby baby come home to you on Friday, and then just after 2 days, say Saturday and Sunday, by Monday he will be looking lean because he was not eating as much solid as he would when I was not around. But because I was around with him and at home with him, or perhaps he's around me and he was not going to crèche, he would want to eat only, he would want to take only breast milk and not want to take solids. And this person is somebody that I know that can eat solids. He eats solids well when I'm not around. He can finish an adult meal when I'm not around. But then on weekends, he declined adult food. He declined adult food and only opted for breast milk. That was another signal for me. The third signal I had for me to realize that my baby was ready for weaning was a stage where you call the resentful stage. What is the resentful stage? That stage is the stage that you might get to and you start feeling bothered because your baby wants to feed. I started getting to that situation because of the experience that I had whenever we had to go out. Say we had an event to go, my baby would be so clingy. As at the time he was breastfeeding, he would be so clingy and not wanting every other person to pick him up, not wanting to eat solid food because I'm with him or we are out and about. Even when we went to church, we had become tagged as the special mom and daughter, as the special mom and son that took out time to nurse each other. So that was making me bothered because then I wouldn't be free. I had to always consider him when we were going out. As you can see, I had to wear something that's as free and easy to adjust as this. I started resenting the process of actually breastfeeding him because it was quite shameful. He was big, he's a big man, he's a big boy. As big as he was always looking for that breast milk, even when we were in the public space. So that was the third signal for me to know that indeed he was ready for weaning. My dear, if you are indeed resenting that experience, if you have started resenting the experience of breastfeeding your baby, then it is time for you to start thinking about weaning him or her. We took the final decision in November of 2020, and this was because we had an event to attend in December, and I thought of it that, oh my God, am I going to be taking an 18-month-old baby that has full sets of teeth, almost up to 16, to a public party and start breastfeeding him? That made me make up my mind to decide that indeed we are going to look for that way to wean him off breast milk. We've tried the baby-led weaning. It was not working because of the reduced frequency that we are already employing right from the time he was 6 months old. So we decided to go cold turkey. After we made the decision to go cold turkey, we decided to schedule a time that I will be around, my husband will be around, but then we will be separated. So we made an arrangement with someone living close by. The crèche that I used was very much accommodating to help us out with this process. So we got separated after I dropped him off on a Friday, which was the beginning of a weekend. So that Friday started as day one for us. My experience during the cold turkey weaning, day one, I dropped him off at crèche. We took several pictures before that day to signify the end of breastfeeding for my baby, and then I dropped him off at the crèche and didn't pick him up at the normal time that I picked him up after coming from work. On that day one, I only had slight swelling on my breast. It just looked like slight engorgements that only seemed like me coming late from work and not breastfeeding him early enough. So it was not as painful as I had expected. By day 2, which was a Saturday, I had increased swelling on my breast and the pain had already started setting in. The only thing I took to reduce the pain was paracetamol. By day 3, which was a Sunday, I had excruciating pain that I could no longer withhold on my own. And so I took paracetamol, and then I took cabbage, different leaves, several leaves of cabbage, and I placed them right on top of my breast before putting on my bra. That served as a great pain reliever. By the night of the 3rd day, my baby was home and we had the first fight. Yes, the first official fight. Before, I also had excruciating pain, but then with the swelling now going down gradually. Day 5, I also had reduced swelling, and my baby was also reduced interest in sucking the breast. By day 6, I still had slight milk release from my breast. My baby was only interested in touching just to reassure him that it is still there. Day 7, I had my breast back to initial size before my pregnancy. Then indeed, we got to realize that breastfeeding was over. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Like and share with your friends and family. If you know someone that is in the process of weaning their child, recommend this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Video suggestions are welcome. Until the next video, bye.